You guys want to see my new gun? What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I show you finally what gun I got. Just to give you guys some backstory, the gun that I sold before this one was a Springfield XD service model. To give you an idea of what that is, it's got a 4-inch barrel, it is a 9mm, or at least the one I had was a 9mm. It's got several safety features, and I honestly really liked the gun. Ultimately, what made me decide to switch was that, honestly, I just wanted something smaller that I could actually conceal. The gun that I ultimately decided to go with was the Glock 26 Generation 4. So right out of the box, let me tell you guys my first impressions of the gun. Just to give you an idea, I have about average sized hands, and as you can see, even with a magazine in, I'll take an empty magazine, even with a magazine in, my pinky doesn't have anywhere to go. That ultimately is probably the only thing that I'll change, other than the sights, which we'll talk about in a second. And just so everybody knows, the gun is clear, there is not a magazine or one in the chamber. Alright, so the gun is safe. Starting with the pros, I do like that it's double stacked. In other words, with proper grip, my fingers don't touch back on each other. With the pinky extension, this will be perfect for me. One other thing that's exclusive to Glock, as far as I know, is that these magazines are interchangeable between different models. So in other words, if I were to get a 26 round magazine, it would still fit in this gun just like that. Now, it'd stick out a little bit, of course, but the fact that I can interchange magazines is pretty cool. That means I could get a huge stick mag out of this little tiny gun and just go crazy. Another thing I like about the gun is just ergonomically how it feels. It just feels good in the hand. So if I go to aim, it just feels really nice. Let's move on to some of the cons. One of them that first stuck out to me was the sights. Let me line those up so you can see them. So it's got this field goal post sight in the back and then a white dot in the front. So my only problem with that is, at least for me, in my experience and just drawing it and trying it in the store, is my eyes are initially drawn to this back part instead of to the front sight. So normally when you shoot, at least from all the research that I've done, again, I'm no professional, I'm just a guy who likes to shoot guns. Normally what you're supposed to do, from all that I've researched, is you're supposed to focus on this front part or the target, one or the other. But if your eyes are drawn instead to the back of the gun, that doesn't really matter as much. And you obviously want to have them lined up, but you don't want to have your focus be here rather than here, because then you won't be able to see the target that you're shooting at. One other thing that, as soon as I get used to the gun, I'll probably change is the trigger has pretty heavy pull on it. In other words, when you cock the gun, and just to alleviate any concerns, this is still empty. So when you cock the gun, its draw, or rather, when you pull the trigger, you really have to work for it. That's good and bad, because it means that you really have to have smooth trigger pull, otherwise the gun will jerk. On the other hand though, it really doesn't feel as easy if I'm going to shoot and I have to pull. It feels like it should go a little bit sooner or have a little bit less weight to it. One thing that is going to take some getting used to is the Glock's magazine release button. They do make button extensions for this. As of right now, I have to turn my hand just a little bit to fully depress the button, because if I'm just holding it normally, I can't do it. So I just have to slightly turn the gun in my hand so you can see that it's not like it would normally be. I have to be here instead in order to fully depress the button. So that's another thing that I'll most likely change sometime in the future. Another thing I mentioned earlier is a pinky extension. Now they have, at least one of the companies I've found is called Pierce, and they make pinky extensions that not only do they add rounds to the magazine if that's what you want, but they also just have one that adds a pinky extension. So in other words, it's kind of like a little almost cone that comes out like that and just gives your pinky a place to set right there on the magazine. The reason that I would want to change that is because I feel like with the recoil of the gun, the more that I have as far as grip on the gun, the better my shot's going to be. Whereas if I only have these two fingers essentially to hold on to the bottom of the gun, then I don't really feel like I have as much control as if I had another extension right there. Fully broken down, this gun goes into 4 pieces. It takes a little bit of work, at least it did for me coming from a Springfield. They're pretty easy to break down. This one, however, has tabs on either side that you pull down, and then you're able to pull back the slide, pull the trigger, and then it pulls forward off of the gun. Another thing which I'm curious to see if it affects the performance is the recoil spring. It just feels a little bit cheaper than other ones that I've had. I'm not sure that it'll really affect the performance all that much, but I am, like I said, curious to see if it does. I bought my gun from Cabela's, which I know usually they charge way too much, but I got them to price match on another Glock that I had found online. So the package that I got came with 3 magazines, 2 of which I've got loaded up with my Barnes hollow point 9mm ammunition. It came with a quick reloader tool. I have not shot this gun yet, so that's what I'm most excited to show you guys. Let's go take this thing shooting. Alright, so we're heading to a place called TNT, which is a place here in Utah that has an indoor range, mainly because it's really windy outside, and I don't think doing it outside is going to work out so well. So, I'll talk to you guys when I get there. Alright, so we've got an AR that my buddy Cameron rented, and we've got my gun, which has these rounds in it here. So, put the magazine in, see what we think.
tomorrow.
Well guys, welcome back. My phone ended up dying yesterday while we were at the range, so unfortunately what's in the video is basically all the footage that I got. However, I did find something that I was pretty excited about that TNT actually sold, and that was those Pierce grip extensions. This is what they look like on the gun. Again, the gun is still clear, just so everybody knows. So this is what it looks like with the Pierce grip extensions. I think it looks pretty cool, actually, to be honest. But even cooler than that, now I can get a full grip on the gun and not have to worry about anything. I was really excited that they had that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to actually install these at the store. I needed some tools that I had at home in order to do it, but I am pretty happy about that, to take those out the next time. I would highly recommend this gun for anybody who's either just getting into guns or is looking for something that's a solid concealed carry weapon. I do have a holster coming. It's in the mail now. I've just got the email with the tracking number, so I'll be doing a video on that and my impressions with that, and I'll most likely be taking this gun out shooting again with that holster. As always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Let me know what other kind of content you want to see in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.